Here we go. Episode 1, Near Fall Podcast, recorded live in the outskirts of Oildale, California, right on the border of Oildale and Bakersfield, California. We're here. We're talking wrestling. You got myself, J-Bone, Joel Ramirez. You've also got
Juicy Joe Terry.
Juicy Joe Terry.
And Cody.
Thank you.
Who's taking a sip of hot tea right now.
I'm drinking hot tea, bitch.
Yeah, he's working through a lung and throat thing. And we also have our talented producer, Mr. Bill Pimble, sometimes known as Justin Ramirez, but more commonly known as Bill Pimble. So we're going to open the show here. We're going to be talking about wrestling on a weekly basis. We're not going to limit ourselves to just wrestling, but that'll be where we start. So we're going to come to you guys every week for an hour a week, talking about the action, making some predictions for the pay-per-views and the big shows. So we're going to start off with a hot topic. It's definitely been a hot topic at the shows. So our topic is a topic that's very near and dear to Cody's heart. Does John Cena really suck?
Yes.
No.
We have a couple of varying opinions. So I think maybe we can start with Cody. Cody, you want to give us some insight on as to why you think John Cena does not suck?
I mean, granted, the guy is not the greatest wrestler, and we can all agree on that.
He's got 5 moves.
He has 6 now. Springboard stunner.
But 2 of them are shoulder tackles.
Yes.
But it could
Exactly.
be clothesline.
He still has 5 moves.
Submission. Shut the fuck, or not the shut the fuck up, but
The
STS.
step over toe hold.
yeah, that he doesn't lock in tight enough.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He has that. He has the FU, which I still like to call it. He's got the springboard stunner. He's got the 5-knuckle shuffle. He's got the shoulder tackle.
Which I do like what he's doing with that lately, where he's not bouncing off the ropes and he's just doing it quicker. I
Yeah.
like that a lot better.
Here's the thing. Okay. Yes, he's literally a basic wrestler. Okay, but he's too predictable. He literally will sit there and get his ass kicked straight and then breaks out into this Super Cena thing where he will kick out of everything. You can hit him with a freaking Mack truck.
Because he's jacked to the
And
max.
yeah, and they'll count 1, 2. Oh, he kicked out. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But then he'll do his same 5 moves. It's shoulder tackle, blah, 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 all that crap you said. Okay. And then
All 5 pretty good.
and then all of a sudden, boom, he wins the match. It's terrible, and I hate it. And I think his character's played out too. He's done the same exact character for the last 10 years. Yeah, he appeals to kids, but, you know.
That is my point into why you can't turn him heel until, and he said it himself on the Jericho podcast. Shout out to Jericho.
Or in the podcast game now, so it makes sense.
You have to shout out. to
Yeah,
Chris
everybody,
Jericho.
Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
you know.
he's going to be tuning into this, as most people are. Probably get 2 or 3 million downloads this week.
He said it perfectly on there. Cena doesn't have a problem with turning heel. But before you turn him heel, you have to have somebody to fill the void that he creates
Rusev.
if he goes heel. Because the guy does well over 30 Make-A-Wishes a year.
Okay, yeah, he does. But
And I know that
the
this
reason
is a
why
wrestling
he's doing that
podcast.
is because he's that same played out character, and kids appeal to him for that reason. They can come up with a character easily that will do that same thing.
I don't know, man.
Hogan went heel.
But
And
Hogan
it
did not
sucked.
go heel.
They
terrible. It
didn't.
was
They didn't
terrible.
do Make-A-Wish Foundation crap back then,
It
or
was
else he'd have
terrible.
been the same exact guy that did
Hollywood
it.
Hogan is the worst character ever.
But if
I
you
totally agreed. But
you
it was,
realize
Hulk Hogan is the second one.
it was good for business.
Hulk Hogan didn't go heel till WCW.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Vince would have never turned him heel.
The Vince would still be playing the Hulk Hogan in the yellow shorts and everything.
But that's
else.
what I'm saying
And
is-
going, oh yeah, kids love this.
I'm from America.
Eat your vitamins. Say your prayers.
Wear your seatbelt.
But
Wear a condom.
I'm glad they don't
this
still
is-
do. You wear a condom. That's what they should,
that's
do. That.
definitely. But it's,
Do that. Wear a
the
condom.
PG era is not going to let you do that. However, Cena is Hogan 2.0.
He's a little better though.
Exactly.
He's got
knows-
better moves.
But nobody-
Hogan's
He's got
moves-
one more move than Hogan.
Exactly,
Hogan was a
but
man of 4 moves.
Nobody criticizes Hogan. Oh, Hogan's.
I'll
I
criticize
think we
Hogan
just
all
did.
day.
He's
For sure
the
we did.
immortal.
Hogan is the face of wrestling, which is what Cena is. But
Hogan
was never a good wrestler.
I hate Hogan. And I hate Hogan more than I...
Why do you like Cena so much if you hate Hogan?
From my background, just because of the Make-A-Wish thing. I have a kid that has a disease.
You're right.
And so giving him somebody to look up to...
Take him out of wrestling. Take him out of wrestling. Have him do fucking Make-A-Wish Foundation all day, every day.
He wasn't wrestling.
Yeah, but now you got him as a Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton. He's famous for being famous. That's what we're going to do.
Kim Kardashian's doing it. She's a millionaire.
But I just feel like I'm okay with him turning heel. I would love to see the Doctor of Thugonomics again.
No,
I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see.
He needs to just be a bad guy.
Something totally different.
Just like hit people with chairs and stuff.
But just fill the void.
Have him become Russian like Rusev. Boom.
I'm the Russian guy, you know?
Yeah, mind blown.
Fill the void, though, before. Because Roman Reigns is not going to fill your Make-A-Wish void.
Roman Reigns is bogus, dude.
Yeah.
You know...
He has 2 moves.
Dolph Ziggler's not going to do it.
The reason why he appeals to kids so much is because it's just like another thing. That they cram down your throats, and they're going to keep on doing it until you eventually like it. Kids are susceptible to that.
Right.
Adults like us, well, big kids like us.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody here's an adult.
Don't agree with it. Same thing as why I'm sure we all don't like Roman Reigns, which is surprisingly what we agree on, because I'm sure you'd jump on the ship of that too. Well, Roman Reigns
it's Kaysen's favorite wrestler. It's not.
Randy
Orton is my favorite wrestler.
He's got to stop arm cocking. Oh, we got to get back to John Cena here, but he's got to stop arm cocking.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see arm cocking.
But you also have to look at it from, we're looking at it from a fan perspective. But you're Vince McMahon. You're in his shoes. That's your cash cow. Why the fuck would you change it?
Okay.
You can put out a new shirt every month and it's going to sell out. We went to WrestleMania. The reason why it will sell out. And when we're walking out, the Champ is Here shirt is already on the fucking board to be bought.
Well,
people are already wearing that thing. Dude.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's kind of goes, whatever.
Make a note to edit that.
Randy Orton.
No, leave it.
Yeah, Randy Orton said it in a tweet or whatever a couple months ago. They're overloading you with John Cena shirts. Somebody complained on Twitter that they couldn't get a Randy Orton shirt for his kid because they didn't have any to sell.
Right.
And it was really
every
hard
other
to get
wrestler.
This Randy Orton shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Which is
it just came out of nowhere. Came out of nowhere right to me.
Have you seen the stick figure one? Or it's like the minivan when he's RKOing the mom?
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found at WrestleMania.
She deserved it, too.
Sold out online, though.
Well, yeah, because they probably threw 3 of them at the event. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you got a couple less Cena t-shirts, kids will start wearing other shirts. But anyway, he buries guys, too. Okay, look at the Nexus.
I don't think so.
He went up against the whole Nexus group in that John Cena, Team Cena against.
I know. I mean, I didn't really watch wrestling at that moment.
Even Edge and Christian, Edge was on, or not Edge and Christian, Edge was on Chris Jericho's podcast. They both were talking about how he ruined their basic careers for that. Okay.
But can you say that Cena ruined it, or did Vince ruin it?
Cena ruined it.
Cena doesn't have creative control like that.
Yes, he does. He's fucking Cena.
I know he's Cena, but you know what creative control did at WCW with Hogan.
Okay.
And Jeff Jarrett just laying down and letting him pin it.
It's turning into that same thing.
But Vince isn't as stupid as Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, but if you listen to the podcast, Edge...
They should bring Eric Bischoff back.
He's going to TNA.
I really feel...
He's going back to TNA. That's good.
I really feel that Vince should hand the reins over to Triple H.
Well, hold on, but let me go back to what I was saying.
We'll get to that. That's a good topic.
Edge and Jericho both said it themselves that the thing was good to... It was supposed to be that Nexus won, and they were going to push everybody over and everything like that. John Cena didn't want it to happen. They argued with them. Finally, they went with what John said because he's John Cena and he's the godchild of life.
That's pretty smart.
But see, everybody has a problem. John Cena buries talent. Nobody has a problem with Triple H burying WCW talent.
Well, yeah, that's...
But isn't it to get in and have a good match with a guy like John Cena and then lose like Bray Wyatt did?
Okay.
That's still pretty good.
That's the thing with Wyatt, though. He went up against the whole Wyatt family in that cage match, and then the next week it's like, well, we don't really know what to do with these guys, so we're just going to have them miraculously disband from the Wyatts.
Yeah, that was real dumb.
And I think Bray's still suffering from it.
Yeah,
they got him up against Ryback.
He's stale.
You know, they finally got him up against Ryback. He did go up against Undertaker. You know, but other than that, he's done nothing.
No, I agree. I don't think
Nexus.
That was a boring match. And the match was good, but the whole idea was...
Yeah. It would have been cool last year.
Yeah.
And if he beat the streak and became the Undertaker type
that would have been
character.
better than Brock Lesnar beating the
Yeah,
streak.
because he was already cryptic and all that stuff. But same thing with Nexus. After he beat them, half of them either didn't get put on the air or got dropped. Then you
got guys like, what's his name, David
Otunga.
Yeah, he can't wrestle. So why do you want to put him over anyway? You get another 5-move Cena.
Justin Gabriel. That dude's the man.
He's tearing it up in NXT though, correct?
Oh yeah. No, he's not in
gone.
NXT. He's gone.
Yeah,
I don't know where he went, but he was supposed to be in the Royal Rumble and said, "Fuck that! I ain't going to the Royal Rumble. I quit. Quit the week of the Royal Rumble."
Bad career move.
Yeah. Probably. But anyway, I think the same thing's going to happen to Rusev too.
Well,
they're going to go, "Oh, well, we don't know what to do with Rusev because he was a badass, but John Cena beat him." Dude, John Cena even jumped in on this whole thing because it was supposed to be Ryback against him, which was going to be would have pushed Ryback's career up. But no, John Cena had to come in there and be egomaniacal.
But Rusev was already over enough. It really, I don't think it really matters if Rusev loses, and he'll probably lose.
Mark my words.
For him to lose.
Mark my words. He's going to be Heath Slater in 2 months.
No, because they're going to work the thing with Lana. They're going to work the thing with Lana. They're going to have that angle.
Yeah.
And something's going to happen there. Somebody's going to get with Lana.
Right.
And then they're going to work that.
And the only time
they're going to put him up against Jack Swagger again for the 19th time.
Yeah, there you go. See, told you he's going to be fucking Heath Slater. He's too predictable. If anybody ever beats him, the person's cheating. It's just somebody does a chair shot or interrupts or something like that.
Well, you've got to have that
to an extent.
A little bit.
To an extent, WWE is predictable,
but you don't have to have that all the time. WWE is predictable because of Vince McMahon.
So that's what I'm saying.
If Triple H was running it,
it's not Cena burying talent. It's Vince McMahon burying talent.
Another thing is his fucking music is annoying. When it says apple juice or whatever the hell he yells. Okay. His lyrics are terrible.
What do you think he's saying when he's coming down?
I was looking at some of the lyrics last night, actually. One of the
that's
lyrics.
That's probably why you have 5 pages.
That's
we got 5 pages over here.
It says
of why Cena sucks.
Apple juice.
Yeah. Because
you guys a little
5 pages of John Cena is because I cut down some stuff.
Yeah, he wrote the lyrics out. Yeah. And he skipped lines and stuff.
Here's some of the lyrics.
He wrote Cena sucks real big on 1 page.
Here's some of the lyrics. I got my soul straight. I brush your mouth like Colgate.
Yeah,
and then at the beginning, like I said, apple juice. Okay.
It rhymes.
Okay, my money's stacked fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. Because the guy's so swole, he can't turn it off, apparently.
He is pretty huge, though. That's pretty big.
Okay, and then he even knows in his lyrics that he's going to win because it says,
he always
it's
wins.
automatic, I win this. Oh, you hear those horns, you finished.
But you know what? He also, and maybe his character is boring or whatever, and you could say that his character sucks, but the dude himself, he's at all the live shows. If you're following him on social media,
that's
he's working the shows in Fresno.
And that's what I wrote down right here.
He goes on a European tour. Not everybody does that.
He may only have 5 or 6 moves, but he gives 100% every night.
Yeah.
Raw, SmackDown, house shows, and he gives the fans a show. Whether you hate him or you love him, you're getting a show. You're not getting a part-timer. You're not getting a Brock Lesnar who hasn't wrestled on Raw in 10 years.
But he's the champion. He got suspended. I don't know if you've heard that. Yeah, he's been suspended.
Yeah, the night that he was going to wrestle on Raw for the first time in 10 years.
Yeah, isn't that's a terrible
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was suspended.
10 years. Yeah. Only pay-per-view wrestler, that's it.
Well, because he's a big draw, dude. You got to say that.
Okay.
I would much rather have Cena have the title and defend it every week than Brock Lesnar have it and doesn't even show up to TLC, doesn't show up to Survivor Series.
Nobody should show up to TLC. They should get rid of it.
Yeah, I saw Extreme Rules.
TLC and
I saw Extreme Rules. Nobody should have showed up to that too because there's nothing extreme about that.
Was the cage at Extreme Rules not shorter than it ever has been?
Eventually, it's gonna be like a picket fence you got to jump over.
Yeah.
And why was there a referee in there? That was
when have you ever been able to submit or pinfall somebody in a steel cage match?
Sometimes they used to do it back in the day, but they literally stated, "Well, this is blah 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 blah."
They need to bring the blue cage back.
Yeah,
I like that idea. We should have called this podcast the Blue Steel Podcast.
All right, changing the name, guys.
We can change it still.
Change approved.
We can make another podcast.
We can have 2. Brian might come to that one.
Yeah. Oh, that's one thing we got to get out here too.
Shout out to Brian Ryan.
Shout out to Brian Ryan.
Brian Ryan.
I hope when he hears this, he feels real bad that he's not in here in this studio quality podcast that we're putting on here, and he could suck it.
He'll be in next week, though.
Maybe.
He'll be here.
He doesn't flick. He's prospecting.
You know, and I was doing some research for this. Does Cena suck? And
Did you
got
Google
like a
it?
million pages of yes.
he debuts in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
He was already with WWE before that with
Yeah.
their development back then, which was I believe the Ohio.
Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Yeah, and that was Brock Lesnar in that with him. Randy Orton, Batista himself, and
Stacked class.
it was a very good class. But so he debuts, after the prototype shit is done, and he's John Cena. He debuts in 02. He's a heel from 02 to 03 until he joins Team Angle at Survivor Series. We lost something there.
I think it's just fading in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So-
Mr. Pimble
That
over
actually
here.
sounds better.
Yeah, it did sound better.
Because you couldn't hear yourself.
Got him. So he's a heel for about a year, and then he's been a babyface since 03 when he joined Angle's team for Survivor Series. The "Let's Go Cena, Cena Sucks" chant started in 05, and they've been carrying on for 10 straight years.
Okay.
I like what they're doing with the music, though.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't suck, I don't know what's wrong with him.
Okay.
I like the chants.
It's so bad they edit out most of the booing because he's getting.
But
booed
that
so hard.
depends on the city, because some cities that he just blows the roof off.
He's loved
Oh,
in
yeah.
Texas. They were just in Texas recently.
Yeah,
and-
hey, one state out of all of them. Hey, you're good.
better than no states.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, true. That is very true. But sometimes I feel like it's us as fans
By the way.
wanting something more. Like we're so tainted
No,
now.
we always want more.
Yeah, but I mean, not to get like
We want more of the more
political, but like as a society, we're tainted. Like you can watch a video on YouTube that 10 years ago you would have had to turn your face and be like, I can't watch that. And now you're just like,
stuff. Beheadings. and
now
all
you're replaying ISIS burning that guy alive. Oh, let me watch it.
You're
again.
sharing it on Facebook.
Yeah. You're tainted.
It's gross.
And you're always wanting something more and something better. So in 05,
Hey,
Cena was.
by the way, that guy had some real heat, didn't he?
Ah.
Oh, we need a drum set in here.
Wow.
White hot heat.
This podcast is getting banned.
Yeah. We're screwed.
But
12 countries.
Okay, so he's a good guy from 03 to 05, and he's already getting the Cena sucks chance. He wasn't
Because
even
nobody
played out.
likes the
He
good
wasn't
guys.
even played out in 2 years. There's no way he was
Okay.
played out in 2 years.
He did the same exact match every week, every pay-per-view.
Still doing
it. He'll sit there and get his ass kicked, and then miraculously, the cape appears.
He has a comeback. Well, that's how it works, though.
But I really feel
that's
like
just how it goes.
the-
Everybody does it.
And
the
then
U.S.
Sheamus
title.
is the same thing, but he's got red hair. Sheamus very rarely loses.
Rusev is predictable. The accolade, that's it.
It's a terrible move.
Does he even have a finisher?
Hey,
Besides
I don't know
the
why it
submission?
puts you to sleep. I don't understand it. He's got you by the chin.
It's
Why
so
are
that you don't
getting-
tap out and look like a quitter.
you
That's
can't
why
tap
you go
out.
to
Your
sleep.
arms are like.
But I really feel
he's no
that
Scott Steiner.
before Big E joined New Day,
New Day.
I would have liked to see Big E break the streak
New Day sucks.
after they
I wanted to see Rusev when they started doing that
Ryback.
little mini feud. Or, Ryback.
Right
sorry.
before he got
Ryback.
fired.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah.
No, I was hoping that Ryback
That was
broke
gonna
it
push,
also.
That would have pushed him into the title picture again, because the whole CM Punk thing that they went
Ryback
with that,
can never
kind of
be
got
champion.
screwed over on
He's boring. Nobody wants to be boring like him. He's cool, but
that.
he has
My
less
final
moves.
thing on the John Cena is he's no CM Punk, and I know that's going to start another argument.
CM Punk's terrible.
No, you're right.
We're
He's
not gonna
no
talk about
CM
him.
Punk. He's not a
He's
crybaby
still
bitch
working.
who quits on his fans.
He didn't quit on his fans,
I agree.
All right,
Oh,
so
he
the
quit on
overall
his fans.
verdict is
Bad.
John Cena
Sucks.
Doesn't suck.
doesn't suck.
Doesn't suck.
We have
I-
2 for doesn't suck. Mr. Producer, where you at?
I-
Mr. Producer
Brian,
has no idea what
I
we're
am
talking
so
about.
upset that you missed this because I knew I had my partner in crime
Yeah,
on
Brian
this.
Ryan. All right. Let's get this next topic out of the way here. We're going to talk about cheap heat. So for those of you that are listening to this, or maybe in the room that don't know what it is, that is when a superstar comes out and just says stupid stuff about the people in the audience, like, "Oh, you guys are all idiots." And Sheamus seems to be doing it a lot. Seth Rollins seems to be doing it a lot, which he doesn't need to do it because people hate him anyways because he's a jerk.
Ascension did it.
Ascension did it real bad in their off TV.
Ascension did it and
so
dug
that's
themselves a grave because you got to actually be good to do that.
Yeah.
But
I just don't think you need to do it. I mean, maybe every once in a while do it, but every time you come out, you don't need to do it. I mean,
nah, if you're a heel, you got to make them hate you as much as possible. Like, look at like Ted DiBiase, like back in the day. He would do it every night.
No, I agree. If you're a heel,
stupid-
you need to come out and talk shit about
he would come out there talk about how stupid they are, how poor
see,
they
I
are.
like to just see it as the two guys talking shit about each other. Right? You can come out, I'm going to talk shit about Cody.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not going to come out and talk shit about Cody and then that dude over there in the third row.
Well,
but see,
wouldn't
the
that
thing
make you,
is,
wouldn't that make you more pissed off at him?
Yeah.
Maybe,
see,
I mean, I guess you're right.
Sheamus's angle right now is that he hates the little guys, the Nevilles, the
And
Dolph
what is
Zigglers.
with the, are you not entertained? Like, what is that?
That was
you're
kind of stupid.
not
But actually,
entertaining.
honestly, heel Sheamus.
I do
think
like
that's
a lot
great.
of what Sheamus is doing, where he had the microphone in the whole time when he was beating on whoever he was beating on, Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Which whatever, that was lame.
No, but I feel like
Yeah,
right
this
now
sucks.
he's saying that Dolph Ziggler and Neville should not be in the WWE. They're not big enough. They're not talented enough. That's what he
Neville's
said.
bad though.
He is. But so with that saying, you guys are small and you're regular Joes, just like you assholes here, and
Yeah, he's doing that to
wherever-
get them over, though.
Yeah. Oh no.
Because right now, fucking Dolph, I've always said that dude is literally going to be like in the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. Because
He
that
should
dude
be.
is that good.
Yeah, he probably will be. He's won
He
enough
should be
titles
pushed
and whatnot.
harder, and I will give you, Neville is a badass, and I cannot wait to see that guy develop.
But you gotta
Should he
be
have been-
big. You gotta be big to be the champion, man. You really, really do.
Should Neville have already been in the King of the
I
Ring?
can't-
I don't think so.
I can't see Neville. That King of the Ring was a
King of the Ring was a joke.
It was a
dude.
joke.
They pushed
but
it for like 3 days.
so predictable.
You
And
didn't even know
everything.
anything about it until Extreme Rules,
I know-
and you're like, "Oh, King of the Ring."
I know
what is it?
how
Oh,
predictable it was because I guessed it, most of the results, but I'm not rubbing that in anyone's face.
Yeah, you
But-
guessed with a 3-year-old.
Yeah, hey, because he's my bookie. I already said that.
Yeah. Cody did
But-
get 1 point though, so I want to give him kudos for the 1 point that he received.
Well, Dolph Ziggler fucked me when
Yeah.
he came out, and
Yeah, Ziggler
Yeah.
really got in you
Yeah.
pretty hard.
But anyway, I forgot what I was saying when I started talking about the King of the Ring. Oh,
The
Neville.
King of the Ring was bogus.
Yeah,
Neville should have won that joint.
Would,
I don't. You're pushing him way too hard.
The King of the Ring is nothing though, so if he
But,
wins it,
but
then
it used to.
whatever.
And that's the thing, is it used to be something.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
so
would
you
know,
can't
that would be
give it
what
to
would
Neville.
push you into the title picture and everything.
Yeah.
But
look,
they're not going
look
to do
who
anything
has
with Barrett
been.
either. They're not going to do anything with Barrett.
No, Barrett's
It's
fine.
just going to be another thing to put in his little freaking marquee thing, whatever that comes under his name.
But now, do you see the live show he did where he pushed Neville to the audience?
Mm-hmm.
Now the video cuts off. I've heard a rumor that after the video cut off, he gave Neville the bullhammer and said he was playing. But in the video, he says that after his contract's over, he's retiring because his shoulder never healed correctly. And if you want to get behind an English wrestler, Neville's
Which
you're up.
nobody does.
But are you talking that video though?
Yeah, it was a live show
Yeah.
though.
He was just saying that so he can, get them to think that he was becoming a good guy, just like when Mark Henry said that he was retiring.
Give
and
him
everything
some
like
bad
that.
news.
No,
Yeah,
but
then
I'm
when
saying
he
it
gets
wasn't
him-
a TV show though, so he was
Right.
just doing it for the fans there and
Well,
not for
They
us.
were
they were in
testing
England.
out to see how it went over though.
Mm.
They do that with a lot of unaired live shows. They do some stuff to test out. If it doesn't work, erase from history. It's good because if it doesn't go over, it's not going to be bad because it wasn't on TV.
No harm, no foul. But
Yeah.
nowadays it could be bad because you have
Yeah, because
recording devices.
everybody's there.
Yeah.
You know what happens on SmackDown.
Like,
the next day,
Randy Orton leaves to go film The Condemned 2, which I think is going to be a good movie.
of course you do.
Well, Condemned 1 was a good movie.
It could just be
with Stone
2
Cold.
hours of just videotaping Randy Orton like doing shit around his house,
Yeah.
and Cody would be
How
like
many RKOs are you going to see?
Yeah,
of him
Cody
just
be
jumping out of bushes, just
sleeping out in front of Best Buy. Like, dude, you don't have to do that. Like, you can get it. It's not gonna sell out.
But he was back. He was back for like almost a month before they put him on TV. And people
Gotta get back in shape, man.
were recording him, at the live shows. He came out he even came out after Raw one night
I'm a snake.
for a dark match. But I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
feel that
I
he
remember that.
was out of shape. He fucking gained 30 pounds to do the Condemned.
But it's a ring shape. You know, he's obviously in peak physical condition. Or,
Yeah, but I mean,
close
he
to
was
where I
gone
am,
filming a
but
movie for 2 weeks. You know, like the movie took 2 weeks to film. It's a WWE production. It's not like
It's
the
not
next
Marine
Denzel
Corps.
movie.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
you're
not
not
the
filming
Marine
for a
Corps.
year.
It's not the Marine 4.
Yeah, Summer Rae, you know. Marine 4.
Marine 4, like, why Marine 4? Why so many Marine movies? I don't understand. I don't get it.
I think we're off topic.
Yeah, we're way off topic.
off
But you know what, dude? We're just going to let it
Talking
ride.
about
It's the
movies
first
now.
one. It's the first
Podcast,
one.
we're going to be talking about movies
You know,
too.
we'll let it ride. WWE movies, those are
Yeah.
all things wrestling.
Yeah.
So
But anyway, cheap heat, I think it works.
it definitely works. And my problem with it is more that they use it too much, I
Yeah.
think. If it's going to work and it's going to be meaningful, then you got to use it sparingly, man. You can't be like, every time you come out, you guys are all stupid. Like, then.
But you say that, but okay. WWE comes to Bakersfield tomorrow. When I go and I'm booing the shit out of
John
Sheamus,
Oh.
Nobody would boo John Cena, not in this town, boy. What are you crazy? This is a Cena town, dude.
if I'm sitting front row and I'm giving fucking Sheamus the business, I want him to look at me and say, "Shut your mouth, you fat bitch." You know, like.
I'll kick your arse.
So, I want the cheap heat. But if he's only, but you know what? You can't do cheap heat because he did it last night.
Yeah,
And he's
I
not
like
gonna
that.
do
That's
it
what I
tonight.
want. Yeah.
No,
I want
because-
him to think about it and then realize, shit, I just did that. Never mind.
No, I think cheap heat needs to be there.
Yeah,
If you're a heel,
I think you guys kind of sold me on it, but
Yeah. Cheap
because
heat.
Stephanie
way.
McMahon
You
and
gotta
Triple
have
H,
cheap heat.
Stephanie McMahon,
they
she's
do
all
it.
about
Yeah,
cheap heat,
yeah, they're
Oh, yeah.
cheap.
just like at WrestleMania.
They're coming back tomorrow on Raw, so I'm pretty excited for that. Actually,
Yeah, I mean, I think the authorities also played out, but I like seeing them on
gotta
TV.
That's
but I
the
think there's a
corporation
lot of
mentality.
we can. You know what? Let's transition. Let's start talking about this Raw coming up tomorrow, with the authority coming back and what's going to happen with that and the whole thing with Kane. I actually like Kane now. I'm into Kane. I'm feeling Kane hard, and I want to know what's going on with that because I feel like they're working an angle to get rid of the authority because the
I wish
stare
they
downs
would.
between Triple H and Rollins, you know, there's a lot of that going on, and I feel like they're really this is probably the end of the road for the authority, and I hope so because obviously we have a podcast amateur in the room because we just got a bubble gum. Not only is the guy chewing bubble gum, but he's also over here like blowing bubbles and stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Apologize.
So crazy.
I'm all
He's
worried about
not.
that.
That's not even sincere.
I didn't know this was such a
not even-
uniformed fucking podcast.
Well, it's. I mean,
I'm more worried about the fact that you're giving Joel googly eyes
Yeah.
after he's calling you out on it.
this is the freaking #1 wrestling podcast in
the
all of Bakersfield, California.
Yeah.
More
All-
specifically,
All of the
in all
border
this
of
area
Oildale
Bakersfield,
and Bakersfield. This is the biggest one.
in the majority of Oldell and Bakersfield, this is the biggest, or
Yeah, but-
second biggest podcast.
Until
at
another
least.
one comes in, then we're screwed.
For this week until Bo Earnshaw gets wind of it and he starts his own.
Shout out to Bar and Shaw. We were just talking about you about those belts. If you could just come down that price a little bit, we'd be more than happy to purchase them from you
Free would be good.
for the studio and decoration.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, so Raw coming up tomorrow. I think the main storyline is they're still working the angle with Kane, which regardless of what you say is a good angle. I think it's legitimizing Kane a little bit, and I think he deserves it because Kane, aside from maybe John Cena or even over John Cena, is one of the hardest workers. He's been there
That's
sure.
true. I love
wrestling
Kane.
forever. He's not
Now,
scary
do you
anymore.
love-
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's
I
not
totally
scary.
love
And when
Kane.
you think Kane, you think of, he's going to set somebody on fire.
Yeah, do you
Kane
love
is supposed to
Kane?
be from Hellfire and Brimstone. Kane. Okay, well now he's like from the
The
cubicle
Office,
on
yeah.
the right.
Yeah,
We got
but
Kane.
do you love Kane or
Third
do
door
you
on the
love
right.
Isaac Yankem?
He doesn't love us.
I'm gonna take a dramatic pause and say Kane.
Hard pass. I can't decide.
I'm swiping left.
Swipe left.
For-
Anyway.
For those of you that don't know, Cody is on Grinder. Apparently, he's not into dentists. So,
His name is looking for Black Knight.
Black Knight. Nite.
You think them breaking up is that going to turn Rollins a good guy, or is
Oh,
it going
no.
to turn?
No,
Triple H a
Rollins
good
will
guy?
forever be a bad guy. Rollins is the John Cena of bad guys. For sure. He can't be a good guy. Nobody can get behind him being a good guy.
No, he's great. Seth Rollins is a
Yeah, I
is a
really come around to
tremendous-
Seth Rollins. I
his
don't
character.
like him. Yeah.
I don't root for him,
He's good in the ring.
but
Sure.
he's awesome in the ring.
You don't root for him because of cheap heat, which goes back to that. If he had came out there and said that he loves the fans, but he's still a bad guy,
I don't root for him because he's chicken scratch. He's a pussy.
Well,
he's always running and ducking.
yeah,
and
but
acting like a big
they're
old
making him look
pussy.
like a pussy. I mean, when
exactly. And
He's actually really huge
Kane-
in real life too. I don't know if it's camera angles or what.
he looks little.
Yeah, he looks little, and then you see him standing next to Kane, and he's like almost as tall as Kane, who probably isn't as tall as he's built, but either way, Rollins is like 6'4".
5-inch boots.
He's still pretty tall.
Yeah, it's like he was one of the Spice Girls or something.
Well, when you saw Seth Rollins wrestle Neville, I mean, he towered over Neville.
Yeah, Neville's really
and that pushed Neville hard. And Neville lost. And that
Neville's
was a great
getting a huge push. They're giving Neville what they should have done with all the other NXT guys, right? Adam Rose, he sucks. Bo Dallas, he's great. Everybody loves Bo Dallas.
I want to see him.
I want to see him do something.
I want to see him.
I think he was getting a little momentum when he was, 24 and Bo, and then he got hurt, and so he had to step away from.
But they kind of chalked that streak. They were like, "Hey, we have two streaks going on right now. We have Rusev's and we have Bo's. So we're gonna let R-Truth."
Yeah, R-Truth really broke the streak.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's because he kept winning by
cheating.
Well, I've really got on the R-Truth bandwagon lately, especially when he won that match, the King of the Ring match.
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Him. Yeah, going back to the King of the Ring though, that used to actually mean something. That would put somebody in the title picture and everything.
And it had been what, like 5 years since they've done one?
I believe so.
I was looking at Bill Pimble over here trying to get, and he has no idea. He doesn't even know.
It's like,
I hope Bill Pimble doesn't actually hear this and get mad. He's like a real producer. Coast to Coast with George Norrie. Comes on talk radio early in the morning. Anyways, King of the Ring. Yeah, it was bogus, dude.
Yeah.
It was beyond bogus.
They made the announcement on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know the rest of the matches were going to be on Tuesday. I was waiting for next week.
I didn't know any matches were going to be on Raw. I mean,
I get the text from you guys saying that I won on the thing. I was like, at what? And find out that they did the results.
Never mind, you lost.
The Tuesday matches for King of the Ring was a WWE Network push, though.
Yeah.
We want more subscribers. And if you notice, every month beside WrestleMania month is free to new subscribers.
Yeah.
They just did one for Extreme Rules. I already saw an ad.
They're going to do it every month. Yeah.
May's free.
Well,
I don't know why people don't sign up for it. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's such a steal, dude. The access to the content is, even if you didn't get the pay-per-views, to have everyone ever. It's crazy. You could be like, oh, I remember this time that I was like 12 years old and we watched this. I want to watch it again.
No, exactly. I went back to the Hogan Hill turn. To the Hogan Hill turn.
Because Cody was a WCW guy.
I was a heavy WCW guy, and I think honestly that might even be the root to why I don't want them to turn.
I mean, you were kind of fat. I don't think you were heavy. Oh,
got him.
Zingers all day over here.
The Cena turning heel, I guess it might even be the kid in me that I was watching that pay-per-view live when Hogan turned heel. And when he's coming out, I'm at my grandparents' house sitting down Indian style in front of the TV on the ground. He comes out, I jump up, I'm doing the arm wave, I'm doing the flexes, and then he fucking leg drops him.
The arm wave.
And I cried.
You cried?
I cried.
I didn't cry.
He was 14 when this happened.
96, I was
14.
8. I was 8.
Looking back on it.
7 maybe.
12.
Back then I'd have probably thought, like, what the hell? I remember seeing it, but I can't remember how my reaction was. But looking back on it, I thought it was a great idea. Take the guy who's literally...
Well, the NWO was still cool then, too.
Yeah.
There wasn't 1,200 members. I mean...
Yeah, we were talking the other day how it broke off into
the
Latino World Order, the Wolfpack, all that stuff. Even ECW had the BWO, or I think it was ECW.
Well, and then it even made a comeback in WWE for a minute there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Cody still has nightmares, man. I spent the night with him a while back, and he woke up. Hollywood, no!
Yeah, to hold him and rock him to sleep.
Don't cry, buddy. It's just a Hulkster.
It's the Hulkster.
So I really think, like, I remember how I felt when my hero and the guy I look up to when I was a kid wrestling turned heel. I would hate for kids to feel that with Cena turning heel.
But look at how much you remember that.
He's only got maybe 4 years left in the tank at his current pace. And so he can't. He's gonna have to stay good.
Or he will be like Hogan and just keep coming back.
Dude,
I read an article today. Hogan thinks he's gonna have a match next year.
Of course he does, because he's Hulk Hogan. He can't put the shit down.
He's addicted.
you know, and talking like earlier about how everything's on social media and it's a finger click away. You can find out anything, old interviews, this. I researched so much about Hogan. Is a fucking piece of shit.
He's a terrible person.
He's
really a bad guy.
He's a horrible person.
He should have never been a good guy.
Like, I listened to audios
he should have never been a good guy.
when his son killed somebody in that car accident.
Manslaughtered him?
He's on the phone with Nick, and he's telling him to roll over on his buddies. When it was Nick's fault. But roll over on your buddies and do this and that. And then I wrote down a list here also.
It would be bad for Hogan himself. If not, of course he's
Hulk Hogan buries talent way more, is exactly what I wrote right here, than Cena does.
Quote.
And here is...
Verbatim.
Cena is Hulk Hogan 2.0. You're giving me John Cena facts, too.
there was a list of 10 wrestlers Hulk Hogan refuses to lose to. And
More than 10.
one of them on the list he actually lost to was the Ultimate Warrior. But then, if you remember...
They hated each other, though.
But
that was more of a personal thing.
Hogan loses to him. Then you remember when Hogan goes to WCW, they sign the Ultimate Warrior and let Hogan beat him to avenge that loss. And that's exactly why they hired him. But here's the list. Stone Cold refuses to put him over. That's why the match never happened.
Hogan? This is from Hogan?
Yes.
But Stone Cold also doesn't want to wrestle Hogan either.
No, this was when they were still both wrestling.
Yeah, but he never wanted to wrestle him before. He talked about it on his
Macho
podcast.
Man. Macho Man has never beat Hogan.
It's another guy who they hated each other's guts, and after he died, he's like, "Oh, we were the best of friends."
Yeah, no.
How the hell are you gonna have him do his speech at the
that's
Hall of
bullshit.
Fame induction?
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
He won't put him over.
Doesn't need to be put over by Hogan.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be put over.
But if you're gonna do
as far as wrestler wise, he's way better than Hogan.
Oh yeah, for sure. But if you're gonna do the standard 3 pay-per-view match, Ric Flair's got to win at least one, and he wouldn't. That's why they never wrestled. Because for a moment there, they were both on WWF, WWE. Sorry, Vince. Before Hogan went to WCW, they were both on WWF. Mr. Perfect won't put him over. Made him end up joining the NWO so that he didn't have to fight him.
Well, yeah. Look at how well that turned out.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett, and we saw what happened with the Vince Russo thing. Bret Hart, Randy Orton, he wouldn't put Randy Orton over when Randy was the legend killer. And it was going to be, and Randy Orton was 26 at the time. I was reading the article today. Randy Orton was 26, Hogan was 54 or something like that. Signed on to lose to Randy Orton a week before the pay-per-view, refused to lose. So Randy
you gotta refuse to lose.
Randy Orton had to lose, and that kind of killed the legend killer angle.
Huh?
And Jake the Snake.
It's at the same time.
He won't put over Jake the Snake.
It's Hogan. You know, a lot of what
Jake
wrestling
the Snake, a great
is
wrestler,
today.
never really got a title.
A lot of what wrestling is today wouldn't be without Hogan. I mean, Hogan's
that's true.
the man.
That is very true.
Even if he's a terrible person.
Same thing with Cena, though. People are going to remember Cena years from now just like they do Hogan, but he is Hogan, and wrestling-wise, he's not a.
But the
it
disagreement, and I'm the one that said it. Cena's Hogan 2.0, but I don't think he has creative control the way Hogan did back in the day.
I don't think it is. I don't think it behind the scenes. I don't think it happens how we think it happens.
Yeah.
I think this is all. I mean, Triple H said it on Stone Cold's podcast. I can do this, I can do that, but at the end of the day, it's one man's decision. Vince has creative control on everything. What killed WCW was all these.
Did you see it?
You just said where you at?
No, Cody said.
Oh, that was Cody. Never mind. Take it back. Go ahead.
Turns out Juicy J doesn't know how to use Facebook Messenger.
WCW died because Scott Hall, Kevin Nash had the contract to where you hire a new guy and you pay him more than us, you got to pay us what you're paying them.
They were writing really dumb checks.
They all had creative control. just like when another horrible wrestler, Goldberg, 1 move, 2 moves, jackknife, powerbomb, and the spear.
I liked Gilbert. He was cool.
But for Kevin Nash to break the streak, just because.
Yeah.
And then the next week, lay down for Hogan.
Yeah, well, WCW was terrible, and everybody knows that.
But it wasn't terrible in the beginning. That's what made it terrible. I mean, in the NWO in the beginning, and that's the thing is,
it was really
we
cool.
didn't know this behind the scenes bullshit about the contracts and Kevin Nash having creative control like that to kill the streak whenever he wanted. And then you get the Vince Russo comes out with Jarrett that night at that pay-per-view and makes Jarrett lay down.
Yeah.
Comes back out later and does a little shoot interview about how Hogan's a piece of shit and he stripped him of the title and tonight Jeff Jarrett's going to fight Booker T. And then years later, when him and Hogan kiss and make up, that was all planned. That was planned. We had that in the book. But also, Hogan not putting over Shawn Michaels, it was supposed to be a 3-person match. A 3-match pay-per-view.
Shawn Michaels, man.
Well, I say putting over, I don't mean putting over, just lose. He wouldn't lose to him. It was supposed to be at least a 2-match, I think even 3. And Hogan said, okay, I'll win the first one. And then like the night before the pay-per-view, he said, hey, I'm only going to be able to do one. I'm having knee surgery the next day after this pay-per-view. So Shawn Michaels goes out there, and if you watch the video, he oversells every one of Hogan's moves. He's on the top rope.
How does the leg drop even hurt you?
And Hogan kicks him, and he jumps 10 feet in the air, like
he's the
selling the
performer
kick.
of all time. So.
Also, I think a topic, selling the move.
Yeah.
You know, like...
The oversell, the no-sell.
Yeah. I mean, like, when Linda McMahon gets stunned, that's a no-sell. You know, she just flopped.
But Vince was over the top.
Yeah, he was definitely over the top.
Having
and Cena,
stuff.
when Seth Rollins was doing the curb stomp, Cena oversold the curb stomp. He jumped way too high, where Brock Lesnar undersells it so bad he gets his forehead busted open because he doesn't protect himself. Well, I mean, let's just finish the agenda off right here. Get some of the, I mean, because we're not just a WWE podcast.
Yeah, we could do.
Where as much as I'm just a WWE guy, because I'll admit that I don't watch Ring of Honor. I don't
watch Lucha if you have the channel.
You know,
You
so
don't have the damn channel and you're not even watching it. We need to leave this in.
I got it on my Fire Stick, man.
So, you know, we can go ahead and, you know, you guys know
I've
a
got
lot
some
more
notes
about
here
it.
on NXT. So I don't know
Okay, there we go.
All right, let's start with a little show review. We'll do the NXT from the 29th. Open the show off with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which has got to be the best feud in wrestling right now. I don't know if you guys are watching NXT. It's definitely the best feud in wrestling. These guys have followed each other up from the indies, you know.
Yeah, they're doing it so well because they're actually friends.
Yeah,
so
it's really good.
They're trusting each other.
It's like if me and Cody were feuding.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would win. Wouldn't be a feud. So that was good. They just did a little promo. You know, some stuff happened last week where it got all out of control. It was a circus, and Zayn did this high spot flip into a crowd of people. It was dope. But so they did a little promo about having a match, and William Regal was the commissioner, which is really cool. Even though he's kind of was a really boring wrestler. So he came out and he stopped it. It was cool. I like that feud a lot. It's really good. I think it's coming to an end though, and I think Owens is going to win and Zayn is going to move up because he's already kind of had his run. And NXT and some great clashes with Neville, if you have the chance. I know Cody ain't going to watch it. Go back and watch some of those old NXT matches. Those are really good. The next one was a tag team match, non-title match with the champions, Blake and Murphy, who were boring, and Enzo Amore and Big Cass, who are also boring and super dumb. I don't really care for any of those guys, either one of those teams. The Lucha Dragons were bad in NXT. They're actually still doing good on the main roster, it seems like. So that match was really boring to me. Then we had the new diva, Dana Brooke, I guess, who's way too much like a stripper for me. Maybe
I might start watching.
Daughters. She just does all this weird dancing. It's just no good. Versus Bayley. Bayley's really, really good. But Bayley's got a thing going on with Emma over a headband, which is a little bit childish to me, you know, but it's better than, oh, you interrupted my match, or oh, you stole my boyfriend, or whatever. So it's kind of refreshing in that way, but it's a little bit cheesy for me.
I think the whole Divas division, though, is cheesy.
It's got to be
You know,
kind of high school stuff.
It definitely is.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, but that being said, when some of these girls in NXT, which are actually pretty good, come
Yeah,
up,
there's a few that are really good.
Might actually
Like
be
Charlotte.
pretty
Charlotte's going to come up soon because she just
Yeah.
got the title
Now,
recently.
also with the go back to WWE, they had that Royal Rumble match for the women for the #1 contender. I've never really seen a women's Royal Rumble before, but they were able to throw them through the middle rope or the bottom rope. You didn't have to go
you just
over
have
the
to
top.
go
You
under
just
the-
had to
you
go.
have to
You
go
just had to go
under,
out the ropes, which I mean, maybe for safety.
Equal rights, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna make that comment, but I don't want to be the bad guy.
Title 9 or something?
yeah. I feel like I didn't know what was going on there.
Think about it; they're not as tall as most of those guys.
Yeah,
too,
that's
so
a
it's
long
hard
way
to-
for them to fall.
hard
Yeah,
to
that's what I'm saying.
clothesline.
They gotta
Do we
slide
think it
out.
was a safety issue?
That thing was a
or
waste. I think that's what
performance
that
issue.
that battle
probably-
royal was a waste.
Yeah, that was probably one of those last-minute thoughts.
Like, oh, let's do this stupid thing.
Well, also, if they knew Paige was, I guess it was her hometown. That's why they let her win. But we knew Paige is leaving to go film Santa's Little Helper. Why let her win and then Naomi hurt her? I mean,
Because that's how
unless
Naomi gets the heel turn. But they're doing too many back and forth heel turns. Like all of a sudden the Bellas are baby faces
Yeah.
now. Just why? Because Naomi's bad. Like it doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
that's kind of a.
The Bellas are way better as heels.
Yeah.
than-
they
they're
definitely.
Not, they're not
but
faces.
also, I feel like the Nikki Brie feud could have been a little better.
Yeah, they definitely squashed that.
They squashed that.
Yeah, I think it's so weird that just one week all of a sudden they're friends again.
Yeah, right after this 30-day slave thing was
Yeah,
over,
that was
they
totally
were friends again.
They totally had no blow off to that.
And I really think that Vince dropped the ball on that. I think that would have been a good
That'd have been good.
3 pay-per-view
At
Brie
least, yeah.
versus
You could have stretched that out probably even longer.
Nikki for the title.
My show review got hijacked here. I'm gonna jump back in.
And I
with,
really think we should do the show review at the beginning next
we
time.
should do it at the beginning. That's a good idea. We had Hideo Itami versus Adam Rose, which is NXT Adam Rose, who's pretty over, so it was pretty good. It was a short match, kind of a squash match. But in NXT, Adam Rose gets a lot more. I don't want to say heat, but he's a lot more popular over there.
Swish.
That was the second interruption from Cody. So it was a good match. Itami's good. The thing that you kind of have to think about when you're watching is it's not really developmental guys. You know, Neville, when he was down there, he's like a 12-year vet. Itami, Owen, Zayn, like these are 10-year vet guys. So all the matches are really good. Then you had Becky Lynch versus it looked like somebody out of the crowd. So that was a wasted match. And then you had Sami Zayn versus Alex Riley, which was a good match, good back and forth. And then you had Kevin Owens come down. He was on commentary, and he came down and interrupted the match and disqualified him. So
Now-
that was the end.
Are they pushing Finn Balor?
Yeah, but they're kind of letting the Owens and Zayn thing play out. They're having a triple threat match at the next, what would be their pay-per-view, and it's gonna be Balor, Itami, somebody else I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. So Balor's getting some time, dude. He's really good.
Yeah, Balor and Otami are both pretty good wrestlers. You want to nail out your show results, or?
I don't have any show results. If you give me his, I'll just read what he wrote down, actually.
I think he's done with his.
Is that all? Let me see all those pictures. Well, yeah, well, I mean, Ring of Honor, that was kind of Brian's thing for this. So, because it comes on, I think, Saturdays at midnight or something.
Yeah.
I'm asleep or drunk, so I'm not watching it. And I don't want anybody to take that as I don't think they're good wrestlers. I've never been into the
Not around
indie.
to it yet.
I've never been into it, and I love the indie scene. I love what it does for the talent. I've never got into the indie scene.
No.
If you're not on WWE or WCW, I've probably never heard of you. And I mean, maybe, but with this podcast, I think it'll definitely force me to
start paying attention.
start
to some
paying
of that
attention.
Well, you need to pay attention because the thing about it is, man, you're being too close-minded about the whole thing. You need to. Let me get back in here. We got a couple special guests here. Standing over at the door to the what we're calling a studio. We have Lyric. Lyric, say hi. She
Or
refuses
not.
to say hi. And we also have little Mr. Nixon. Who can't talk.
Nitro Nixon.
Nitro Nixon. Lyric, say hi. So there'll be featured commentators on the podcast.
I don't know that I'm
randomly.
closed-minded. It's not enough time in the day to watch a 3-hour Raw, which I think should go back to 2 hours.
Never will though. Advertising.
And-
yeah,
and
if they
I-
went back to 2 hours, they wouldn't cut out the 45-minute promo that they have at the
Yeah,
beginning.
they got to
of the show.
stop that.
They would cut
But
out
that's
some of
what's
the
great about
matches.
NXT is there's not a whole lot of that. Like that opening promo with Zayn and Owens was like 5 minutes tops,
Well,
and it was
like-
good.
Triple H said it, Stone Cold Podcast, 3 hours of television is so hard to fill. And if you watch it from start to finish, you have drawn out promos that you don't need, or
Or just dumb stuff.
look what happened before the commercial break. Michael Cole, I fucking know what happened. I was just watching
That's
before
why I
the
can't watch
commercial.
SmackDown. I hate watching SmackDown because
Smack-
it's like watching Raw again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
SmackDown is a Raw.
Superstars are main event are the worst though.
Yeah.
Main
Look,
event especially.
look what happened last week on Raw. I watched it. I don't need the replay.
Yeah.
And I mean, you continually say Raw was the #1 watch show on Monday night against all other major networks.
Not a whole lot of other shows on.
Then you already know you don't need to show me a replay because your
You
fans
don't
were
wanna
watching
watch it,
last
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
You should definitely start watching NXT on a regular basis. You'll really, really like it. The action is it's they do a good job telling a story, but they don't let the story get in the way. On Raw, sometimes they kind of let the story or the build to the story. That's her thing, opening and closing doors now. She loves it. Usually she slams it, and she'll probably start doing it now. They don't let the story ruin the match or the story weigh too heavily on the match. They still have good. There he is. That's Nitro Nixon. They do a really good job. So if you're gonna pick one to watch, you should definitely watch that. But you should also tune into Lucha Underground. It's only an hour, and it's over the top. It's bad, dude.
That's the one
It's
we're planning
bad.
on going in September, right?
Yeah. That's the one we're gonna be doing live. The only problem is we won't be able to talk about it because you have to sign a non-disclosure
Oh.
because they're all filmed in advance. So you go up Saturday, and they film like 3 hours. You can go back Sunday, they film like 2 or 3 hours, and the shows are only hour shows. So, but they're
Didn't know that.
really, really good. The action is crazy,
Well, and
crazy, and the stories are good too.
like I feel like when you're watching WWE too, I don't get home before 5, so I'm having it DVR'd, and then which also is nice because it
It's
gives
the
me a
best way to
chance.
watch it. You can skip the crap you don't want to watch.
Yeah, you can skip, and I'm not trying to be mean. You can skip the pointless diva matches. You can skip the Adam Rose versus Fandango. You
Fandango sucks.
Whoa, I'm wearing a Fandango shirt right now, by the
can
way, guys.
you can fast forward through commercials, which is also great.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is that it's a tattletale for me because when I'm getting close to the end of the 3 hours and it says 2 hours and 55 minutes and the main event hasn't started, you know that it's not going to be a main event.
But
It's
it runs
something-
over. I mean,
A lot of the time
It runs over about 10
But I
minutes.
feel like
You're going to see some form of the main event.
cut that promo short in the beginning, or cut the replays or the Michael Cole commentary, and let us have a full match at the main event, Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton or
I
whatever.
think next week
Then let somebody
we
jump
got to
in.
cover the commentary. The commentary is so bad right now. It's so bad.
Hold on. As far as that goes, though, the whole Booker T with the Owen Hart comment,
That was awesome.
That was
I
solid
laughed.
gold.
I knew what he meant, and then I could see how everybody flipped out about it. But yeah, I feel bad for the guy because he said something stupid, and it was another.
Yeah, he's probably not going to be
He's
here Monday.
got
Yeah.
a history of that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
another same thing as him dropping the N-bomb to
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan in his promo. So I feel bad for the guy. I'm sorry. He's probably going to
Speaking
get
of
I
brothers-
think he's better than JBL
Yes.
as
JBL
far as
sucks.
commentary. JBL
Speaking of
hates
brothers-
everybody.
The thing that they do in Lucha Underground, which is the only thing I don't like about it, is they will put a mask on a brother and try to pass him over as a luchador. Their champion right now, Prince Puma, straight up brother. But he's got a mask on, so now all of a sudden he's like from Mexico and stuff, you know. So, but yeah, I think Booker T's days as the third
He
commentator
could be from the
are
Dominican
over.
Republic, though.
I think they're gonna. No, he's a brother. His name is like Jaquan or something. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We do love the brothers. I think
Shelton
the
Benjamin.
next one that's
I think
going to
he's
be
a great
coming
wrestler.
up as a commentator is going to be
Best
Renee
wrestler
Young.
ever.
They're going to bring her up and put her ringside for sure. She's too good not to.
Who?
Renee Young,
Oh, yeah.
the backstage
I thought
interview.
you said May Young. I was like,
Uh,
sorry, buddy,
Ouija
that
board.
ain't happening.
We will be doing some Ouija board communication with the Macho Man at some point down the road.
We're gonna
That's
get
some of the
Owen
stuff
Hart's
we have
take on Booker T's comments.
You probably didn't like him.
If anybody hears either one of those two comments right there and gets offended, I'm sorry.
But we're new. We don't know.
Yeah, we're new.
Once we know our audience, we'll know who to offend and who not to offend.
No, I'm gonna. If you don't like it, don't listen.
Yeah, just don't listen, because we're still going to keep putting
There
it
goes our one subscriber.
Yeah.
It's a very biased podcast.
All right.
Well, you already had Brian cut off after you called him Crying Brian Ryan.
Ryan. He has still yet to respond to the Facebook message.
He'll be in.
So let's get an open timer.
He is hands down the most hardcore wrestling fan that I know. So he's
got to be on here.
it's
Because
just-
we're more casual fans.
Yeah,
than
it's an
anything.
off week for him.
Yeah.
His son was at my grandparents, and it's off
Well,
week.
I'm going to quote the great John Taffer, and I don't embrace excuses. So I embrace
solutions.
And that's the Taffer tip for the day. I think we've reached the end of the road here on the podcast. Cody, Juicy, any final thoughts here before we wrap this thing up?
Cena still sucks.
CM Punk is a quitter.
That's coming from Joe Terrier right there.
Straight to you.
Straight to Cody Hanley.
I understand why you can't get behind John,
I'm
because
bored with it.
you get behind quitters,
Yeah.
and he doesn't
You do
quit.
love quitters, yeah.
I don't at all think CM Punk was best ever, but side by side to John Cena, I'd say he was way better than him.
Way better wrestler.
Yeah, way better wrestling.
What?
It's wrestling.
No, it's sports entertainment.
No, it's wrestling.
World wrestling.
It's wrestling.
Entertainment.
You're right.
It's wrestling entertainment.
Not
But-
World Make-A-Wish Foundation entertainment. I love the fact that he does all this stuff for the kids, but it's
Final
wrestling.
verdict is John Cena is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
I don't put him there. I like him. I don't think he sucks.
That's a little sneak preview for next week. We're gonna cover some hard hitting topics. We'll do some Mount Rushmore of wrestling. I think
Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
And
So
we'll
if you
talk
follow us
about
on Twitter.
We'll talk
Post
about,
it.
Yeah, we'll talk about the
Retweet this.
commentators because they're horrible, and we'll cover some other topics, but we don't know yet because
Yeah.
we're just getting started, and we'll figure it out as we go.
I definitely think we should do the what was put on the Facebook Messenger: push one, fire one,
Oh, yeah.
job one.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think we
definitely
should
do that.
pick
We
three.
can do that every week.
Yeah,
as a topic.
we should pick 3 wrestlers every week, or if it's a diva, marry one, fuck one, kill one.
Oprah, that's what I picked.
Go.
And we're also going to be bringing you guys, if we ever get Crying Brian in here, he's going to be probably our resident classic match of the week picker. We're going to take an old match, not necessarily an old match or whatever, but we're going to break it down and cover it.
Well, I feel like we won't give that job strictly to Brian. I think every
Yeah,
week
we can switch every
every
week.
week.
Yeah, we can rotate.
I think Brian's really gonna be our indie guy.
Yeah.
So don't judge us off of this first podcast heavily WC or WWE.
I do watch Ring of Honor. Watched it this morning. It's good.
Yeah.
I like how they
Brian
throw the
will
streamers.
definitely be our
Pretty
indie
cool.
guy, and
Yeah,
I think we'll all have a classic
I actually
match.
had some results for TNA, but I know we're running over time on that, so the show sucked anyway. Hopefully Billy Corgan will kind of fix that as it goes.
Yeah,
But,
that's really a weird thing. I didn't realize
Yeah.
he was such a big wrestling fan.
yeah, well, he had his own promotion, but I don't know if it went under or he quit doing it or what.
We got to see who wants to cover the new Jeff Jarrett promotion too, Global Force.
It's 5 years in the making or something. That thing ain't ever coming out.
Well, he started TNA.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, but he's been
It's
saying
TNA
Global
sucks.
Force forever.
They need to put all their eggs in one basket or do something and get TNA live. The pre-recorded stuff it's
Yeah.
too much, especially because the results are out.
Even a lot of the matches I watched when I watched it, it's a lot of them kind of trying to make it up as they go, and it
Yeah.
sucked. The ladder match they had was actually really good, but other than that, it was
Yeah, some of
boring.
the stuff is good, but I mean, that's why another one of the reasons I don't like SmackDown that much is because you can find out what happened.
Yeah.
And even though it's predetermined, you still don't know what's going to happen until
Yeah.
you watch it. So, all right, so that's it for us here at the Near Fall Podcast, and I think we're going to try to record these bad boys maybe during the week sometime and put them out maybe on Thursdays. I'm not sure yet, but we're still working that through. And but just look out for us on Twitter, Facebook.
Grindr.
Cody's still on MySpace.
Grindr. Cody on
Cody be
Grindr.
on Grindr. Yo-Yo Master 06 is his Grindr name because you can play with him all night long. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.